Hello everybody, how are you? This is Alessandra. Welcome to my home, welcome to my kitchen. Today is a special day simply because we're making biryani palau, multiple names. It's a traditional Pakistani dinner that is much loved by many. It's one of the first dishes I learned how to make from my wonderful father-in-law, Baba, who is no longer with us. But every time we eat biryani, we remember him with a lot of love. So let's get started. We have here 2 cups of canola oil. Don't be scared of the oil amount. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using the total 2 cups, but we'll see once I start frying. I'm going to go in order of the things we will put. So we put the oil first. The next thing we have here is cinnamon sticks, cardamom pods, and cloves. And I have about 2 sticks, 10 cloves, and 10 cardamom. Okay, then the next item that's gonna go in is the onion. These are 4 medium onions sliced thin because we will be frying them. The process is called bagari, to bagar the onions. Here we have 4 green chilies. They're extremely hot and just absolutely delicious. The next item we put in is the garlic and ginger. Usually I chop my garlic and ginger and then freeze it, so whenever I need it, it's easy access, not a lot of work in the kitchen. Okay, then the next item, the dry powders are going to be, this goes first. This is the queen of the kitchen. This is chili powder in 2 teaspoons, 2 teaspoons of coriander powder, and 2 teaspoons of turmeric. So we have chili, dhania, haldi. Perfect. Now here I have roughly about 800 grams or almost 2 pounds of tomatoes. I use plum tomatoes, all chopped up. Not too fine because they will cook down, but just chopped up, okay? Now moving over, I also have 8 potatoes. I did this pretty much in even numbers, so you could half the recipe if you want. So I have 8 potatoes whole, and you don't need to cut them, okay? Right here, I have this beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, organic halal chicken that our wonderful butcher cuts up exactly to your specification. So this is 2 chickens weighing roughly 5 pounds, and which is about 2.5 kilos, less than 2.5 kilos. And look how beautiful the pieces are. When I tell the butcher that I want it for biryani, he automatically knows that it needs to be cut in 16 pieces. Look at these wonderful chunks. It's just perfect. Now, what I do with the chicken first is I wash it, and then with a paper towel, I dry it, and then I'm ready to cook it. Okay, moving over, we have 7 cups of rice. Can you put a little bit less rice? Absolutely, a little bit more. And the rice is going to equal about 1.5 kg of rice. Looks like a lot of rice, but we also have 2 chickens. And to finish it off, once the plate is done, we have this beautiful mint picked from the garden that's coming in beautifully right now. And so I'm thrilled to finish the plate off with the fresh mint. And here I have some chopped scallions that will go on top on the final product. Okay, meet me by the stove and let's get started. I've put my flame on high. And I have a very large pot. This pot measures 14.5 inches and almost 5 inches high. And I really like to work with a large pot if you could, because it gives you space to saute the items. I'm gonna start with the oil, and I'm gonna see only once I pour it in the pan if I really need the complete 2 cups. You know, you need to, you have a lot of chicken, a lot of onions. You want to make sure that you have enough flavor. Okay, guess what? I did not use the 2 cups. I used roughly 1.5 cups, even a little bit. I'm sorry. I used, yes, less than a cup and a half, okay? Again, if you want to put a little less oil, it's okay too. Now, I'm gonna drop in, as my oil is getting hot, I'm gonna drop in my dry spices, the cinnamon, the cardamom, and the cloves, and just let the flavors come out of these dry spices into. Okay, so the oil is nice and hot. You can see the spices bubbling up, and I'm going to start adding the onions. The chilies too. Okay, perfect. Now, this process, okay, this process is going to take a little bit of time because you want to brown and caramelize the onions, but not burn them. Okay, this is why I filled a glass of cold water that I will be adding. As soon as you see the tips of the onions burning, you keep adding a little bit of the cold water to stop, to cut down on the heat, and so like that the onions will caramelize and not burn. This process takes a little long. You need to be patient, even though the flame is on high. You don't want to burn the onion. Now, the fabulous thing about biryani is that it's a Pakistani dish, but my Italian family loves it. I have my brother Joe coming down tonight to pick up half of the biryani. That's why I made 2 chickens. And even my nephews Joseph and Gaetano love the biryani. So for any occasion, whenever I ask them, what would you like Dia to make you? The first thing Joseph says is biryani. That's what he calls it, biryani. So anyway, we all chuckle at that, and it's all very cool. As the onions are slowly frying, I'm going to move my rice over into a bigger bowl and with cold water wash it. This is basmati rice. Unlike the arborio Italian rice, the basmati is a very gentle, light rice. And you don't, once it's cooked, you don't want to fuss with it, otherwise it breaks apart. The longer the grain, the better the basmati rice. So again, I'm going to move this to a larger container and wash it with cold water. The onions are beautiful, frying beautifully. I'm going to add the potatoes in to get them a little fried up. And they're all potatoes, but they will melt as everything comes together, okay? They will cook nicely through. Okay, adding a little water. Look how many onions there were, and look how they're melting away as they caramelize. That's all pure flavor. The onions look perfect. I'm going to add a little bit more water. Look at that. And you know what? Perfect time to add my ginger and garlic. The ginger and garlic, what we do is we buy about a pound of garlic and a pound of ginger. I'm going to say once a month. We grind it in a food processor and then put it in a Ziploc bag. We flatten it out, and then with my finger I make indentations so you have like little squares. So when I need it, I just snap it in the Ziploc and take the desired amount. It really cuts down the cooking process on an everyday basis. It's been about 15 minutes and the onions look ready. The potatoes are cooking nicely. Actually, some have even a little bit of a crust there, which is wonderful. Okay, and now I'm going to go, I want to make sure that the garlic and ginger is nicely fried too. Okay, now what I'm going to add is my spices, because you want to fry the spices a little bit. Let's start with the chili powder, the turmeric, and the coriander. Chili, aldi, and dhania. Now look at this. Look at the color. Look at the color of this. Absolutely. Look at that. Oh, wonderful. Okay. Just gonna fry that up a minute or so, and I'm going to start putting the chicken in. Okay, and here goes the chicken. Wonderful. See, the reason I use a very large pot is because I like it to go all flat at the bottom, so you really get a nice browning effect. And I just think it tastes better. When you crowd up your food, when you use a small pot and you put in almost 5 pounds of chicken in it, it's almost becoming like as it's steamed. You're not sauteing anything, and it really does alter the taste. So I think the right pot for the item you're cooking is extremely important. Okay, almost done with the chicken. Okay, I'm gonna let it sit so it browns on one side before I turn. I'm gonna also lower my flame to a medium high. Okay, because you don't want to be burning anything either. And also the aromas coming out of this dish are just delicious. Okay, now perfect time to add my salt. I have about 3 teaspoons here. Not sure if I'm gonna put everything, but let me just start like this. And when it's almost done, I will taste it again and adjust my salt. Okay, perfect. Oops. Okay. Oh, see that? Scrape the bottom because that's all flavor. That's all deliciousness that's going to go into your biryani. Okay, see, the convergence of this dish is how all the different flavors come together. As we say, la complessità del biryani. It's just amazing. Look at all this. Look at the color of it, okay? Now it fried nicely. The next step is going to be, I'm going to be adding the tomatoes. Okay. Okay, tomatoes are going in. Perfect. Now I'm going to lower the flame and just let it cook, and the chicken is going to finish cooking, the tomato is going to melt, and the oil is going to come up, and we'll know it's ready. We'll check back in about 15-20 minutes. The lid is on, the spoon is out, and now it's going to cook for the next 15-20 minutes. See you back in a little bit. 15 minutes have passed. Let's take a look. Wow, looks beautiful. Not cooked yet, but it's looking beautiful. In the meantime, I washed the rice and I put on a large pot, excuse me, for boiling the rice. It's cooking beautifully. Another 15 minutes have passed. Let's check on the biryani. Wow, I think it's ready. And what I'm going to do is taste it for the salt. So I could. Perfect. Does not need any more salt. So what I'm going to do now is, I see that my water is boiling too for the rice. And I will go ahead and drop the rice in the water. Ready to drop the rice in the water. I need to be careful. I don't want to burn myself. Okay. Perfect. I'm going to put a lid on it to bring it back quickly to a boil. This is going to take barely 5 to 6 minutes. So let's get a very large colander in the sink in order to drain the rice, and so we could be layering the biryani, the rice and chicken together for one final cook. This last passage is a little complicated, so as we move closer to my biryani, I'm going to remove the biryani from the large pot that we cooked it into a large bowl, and then the rice is going to go in here layer by layer. So let me go ahead and remove the biryani and put it in the bowl. Please don't forget to salt your water, okay? I did that already. The rice is coming up beautifully, and you see, this is pretty much ready. I'm gonna feel it with, taste it. The rice is ready. It really takes just a few minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and drain it, and then I'll show you the final step. Okay, the final step, we gotta work quickly. Here's the pot I removed the biryani from, and I'm gonna start layering my rice in. Okay, here it goes. You put a layer of the rice and a layer of the chicken with potatoes. Okay, maybe this is a little bit easier. Wow, the rice is so fragrant and light, just absolutely delicious. Look at the kernels. Maybe if you could zoom in and see the large kernels of the rice. I'm gonna keep shaking the pot so it distributes evenly. Okay. This right here. Potato in the middle. Shake the pot. Okay. Now, okay. And now the rest. Perfect. Just absolutely perfect. Check this out. Beautiful. Okay, now we're done with this. Next thing is our mint. I'm gonna like this. Oh, just cannot wait to eat. This is really, really exciting. There goes the onions on top. Okay, now I'm going to get the lid. Oh, did I lose the lid? No, it's right here. I'm going to seal it up, put it back on the stove for, I'm going to say 10 minutes, and then we're ready to eat. The flame is going to be on low, and we'll be eating in about 15 minutes. 10 minutes have passed, biryani's ready. Let's take a look. Ah, wow, okay, perfect. Do you see how the rice has spiked a little bit up. That means it's all very well steamed. The rice and the biryani gravy have incorporated. Now let's do a little taste test. Okay, look how perfect the color. I'm going to have a little bit of the potato and a little bit of the chicken. Okay, let's not forget some of the onions. I've made a salad of tomatoes, scallion, onion, chili peppers, some cilantro, and a little bit of mint. And the dressing on it is just strictly lemon juice. And what this salad does, it's missing the cucumbers. Again, we're in quarantine, didn't have them, didn't use them. What this salad does is the tanginess, my mouth is watering just thinking about it, of the lemon cuts the spiciness of the biryani. So this is a very common salad to eat next to your biryani. Again, this was the first recipe I learned from my darling father-in-law, Baba. And it's a favorite meal in our home. And what we do is to respect both cultures. One Sunday we have tomato sauce with brajol and meatballs, and the other Sunday we have biryani. So we have really the best of both worlds, which is an amazing thing. Now let's go for a taste. Perfect balance of spiciness and flavors. Just absolutely delicious. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe. Be safe, stay healthy, and we'll get through this together. See you next time. Good night.